Yeah. Oh, is it your turn? Oh, go, Brina, go. White Club!
Okay.
Oh, I picked you the other day.
Yep. I was wondering, what's been like your favorite or funniest like outtake or blooper from recording that you like remember?
My favorite is from Burst Angel. I was playing a character named Joe.
He talks like this. He's very serious indeed.
And so I had to say to a character, wipe that smirk off your face. And so I, in Joe's voice, very seriously said,
"Wipe that smurf off your face!"
which was followed by... which Bevins was like, one of my favorite things about Joe was hearing you be like, butch and manly, and then...
That's like the opposite effect with Chopper. With Chopper, I'll be like, for me, it's like going through a really long passage. Like you've successfully mastered all the articulation of this really tricky passage, and then you get to the very end, and then like some crazy random word will mess you up, and so you finished the thought, you finished the sentence, and you're going on, and then shit, let me please do that again. Carry that thought on, and that stinks, but nothing particular. My favorite thing we were talking about last night actually was when you've recorded, or when you're recording with a fellow voice actor who you know and you're friends with, and let's say they've not gone in to record their character yet, but you're in recording yours. I love to leave little things for them in the studio, so that whenever they come in to record the next day, they'll get a little something that they're not expecting, and I get that vice versa. Rob McCullum and I do that back and forth a fair amount, which is fun. So yeah.
I think my biggest mess up was not in anime. It was whenever I was the host of GameStop TV. And the line was supposed to, I was talking about some racing game, and the line was supposed to be, you can race up to 7 of your friends. And I said, you can rape up to 7 of your
That's a different kind of very wrong. It's actually illegal. I would say that's a bad game.
Play that game. I'm gonna say horns, red hat. Hello.
Hey, so we're in a panel about women in voice acting. How do you think that the industry is like different, and how for you as women in voice acting?
The only thing that I would say is different is that we get to play women, little girls, and little boys.
Yeah.
And guys just play dudes. They play their voice range, and that's it. So if anything, I would say as far as the entertainment world, in voice acting, women get to be the most versatile. Whereas I feel like on camera, it's the opposite.
I would agree.
I would say that there is this hypersexualized side to women in anime, of course, because for a long time harem shows have been the thing. What I love is that the reverse harem show is becoming a thing, because it's about damn time. It's about nothing I love more than watching Todd Havercorn and them scream as they're like, I can't believe I had to say that. I'm like,
Oh really?
welcome to our world.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, and I'll add to that and just say that that it's really cool because I have found, having done this for so long, as you ladies probably have as well, just the abundance of characters that are out there for women in voice acting to voice, which is not also always the case with things like film and television. So there's an abundance of really great roles to fulfill, which is really great and exciting. Yeah.
Oh, is it me?
Your turn, Monica.
Pick it!
All right. Have you guys ever lost your voice while voice acting?
That's a really good question. I've never done it while I've been voice acting. It happened once when I was on stage. I do a lot of theater, and so whenever you're out live night after night, and this was once one of the hottest summers on record in Dallas, Texas, which it gets to be about 115 degrees. And I do a lot of Shakespeare, and this was a Shakespeare in the Park. And we were doing Cyrano de Bergerac, and I was playing Roxanne, and I, about halfway into the run, started to lose my voice. But for, that's weird, it happens. But for anime, no, I'll feel I'll kind of fry my voice a little bit, like when I do video games, because there's so much screaming and war and fighting and just craziness happening. You have to really, really push yourself vocally. So I've never actually lost it completely, but it's just gotten really tired and scratchy. Yeah.
I'm really, my voice is really strong. I put it through a lot, and over my career, I've done a lot to it, and thankfully it always bounces back. But there was one time, like years ago, when we were working on Full Metal Panic, and I had been sick and I didn't have a voice, but I went up to the studio anyway.
What were you thinking?
I thought, I'm going to go, I was a very young actor, and I thought, I'm going to go do my job, and I opened my mouth and went, what are you thinking? Go home. Yeah. Luckily, that was back in the days when you could go home and not lose your job because you so now it might be a different story.
The only time I can remember ever in my life losing my voice, because I'm pretty protective of my voice. I'm a singer. I mean, when I was in music school, I would like go on vocal rest and not speak for a whole day. Yeah, the only time I remember losing my voice, it was because I was sick and I was at a convention. And I was doing panels with Chris Kaysen and I think were the only guests. And so Chris Kaysen and I would do panels, and I would like write down my answers, and he would say them for me. Yeah, it's very sweet.
Nice.
My turn, yes?
Yes.
Hat.
My question's for Green Asset.
That's me!
What was it like getting into the character of Yuno, and how much did you know in advance about your character as you did the show?
Getting into character with Yuno was, man, it was a really difficult character to play. She's so, what I really love about her is it is annoying, like when you're having to play that girl that just like loves a boy for no stupid reason. Like there's like it makes absolutely no sense. But what I love about Future Diary is that they do go into her whole backstory and her childhood and explain why she has this issue of like attaching onto Yuki, and so getting to play all of those layers of the character I really appreciated, but it was more of a challenge than like the typical like I love you for no reason. So yeah, she was just really cool. She had so much going on, and especially Zach did tell me what the ending was. I won't spoil it, but you guys should totally see it because it comes out of nowhere. Like it's not at all what you would expect, and so that kind of was helpful in as far as informing my character and kind of what her choices were. It's hard to talk in detail about it since I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, she was awesome. It's one of the few characters I've played that is obsessed with a boy that I actually love.
I'll go. Black fedora, blue shirt. What's up?
So not only do you also direct, right?
I don't.
Okay.
I did, but
We
don't. We
did.
don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
not anymore.
you're not only dealing with trailing words, but also the culture. What kind of memorable culture lessons have you experienced?
In terms of like anime culture,
Yeah.
in general.
Japan American experience.
I feel like I learned a lot on Holic.
Yeah.
Like just a lot about like ghost stories, like Japanese ghost stories and stuff, and like traditions and all that. Like I think that's probably the show I learned the most on.
I feel like I learn more as an adapter than I do as an actor because we get all of the like straight up translations and then adapt it for the booth. So we get to see all of the raw, strange Japanese myths and legends that we then have to adjust for the Western audience. So I feel like I've learned more as an adapter reading all of these crazy things and the visuals that pop up on screen that I can't use because this word doesn't rhyme in English like it did in Japanese. That being said, I feel like if I went to Japan, I would still have culture shock out the wazoo.
Yes.
I did go to Japan, and it was awesome. I've never felt so out of my element. Because I speak Spanish, and Monica speaks Spanish too, but I've only ever been to countries that either speak English or Spanish. So I've never been to a country where I didn't speak the language. And not only did I not speak the language, I didn't I can't read kanji. So it was so exciting to me. I loved being out of my comfort zone to that level. It was awesome.
That's cool. I don't know, for me it's been having been a part of Funimation as a whole and watching that organization grow and watching just all of the different shows that come down the pike and just seeing what they are and what they're about, and so you get a sense of like what's hot in Japan is coming our way. So in terms of like what the characters are wearing and the stories that they're telling and the look that they want to go for, tells me a lot about the culture that we're living in right now. And I'll tell you, talk about zeitgeist moment for me being here for my very first con ever. This is it. So this is a major cultural moment to see kind of all of you.
From where I am sitting, I know you're not cosplaying Pitbull, but that's what you look like from here.
I've been told that before.
Oh, you're so right. You're so adorable.
Well, thank you all for the opportunity, first and foremost. And just out of curiosity, I want to kind of put a twist on a question that was asked earlier. What would be a favorite voiced by your mutual family members?
Oh my god.
I don't know. You go first. I love CL. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That made it's really true. And I don't know. You've done so much. I don't know if I could pick one.
I
don't know if I would pick one.
Here's what I love about Lydia's voice, though, is that I half the time I don't even know it's you.
What?
Because she's so good at like hiding, and seriously, I can't figure out half the time. So I would hate to say one and have it not be her. I think that's Lydia, but I'm not positive.
Because there's another voice actor, Stephanie Young, who we sound a lot alike. So yeah.
I don't want to be like, but you guys both sound. They have the voice that I have in my head.
Yeah, they have the voice that I really wish I had.
That's not the
You're
voice
amazing,
that-
both of you. Stop.
That's the voice I wish I had. This one, gosh.
I don't know if I can pick a favorite for you. You're Madam Red, for
Madam
sure.
Red, see,
Yeah,
that's the whole show is just amazing.
yeah.
I'm pretty partial to Tamama and Georgie.
I was gonna say I and Tomo. Wait, what's your name?
Which one?
Momoka. I know it was Momo or something. Yeah, Momoka. Yeah, Tamama and Momoka.
Tamama.
Yeah. God, but I loved you in Moonface too.
Oh, and I loved you in Moonface, and you were like, oh, and I'm so shy and nice. I'm like, I love you. I think you're great. Now we're having our little.
Yeah.
We all love each other.
It's true.
Thank you.
No problem.
Question.
My turn, right?
Yes.
You.
Okay, this is two things. One, did you all decide to not have the same hair color before you came?
We're gonna give one of every other.
I know, right? Yeah, we totally planned it.
And two, I know Monica actually voiced this last year, but if you could be an anime character as a teenager, what would you have been yourself as an anime character?
Like what? Like what's an anime character that's a lot like us as a teenager, or
No, what would your
what would our teenage self want
your
to be?
actual person, an actual person you are they were created
Oh.
I would be Skumi from Sekirei. That would be me as a teenager. And as far as hair color goes, I'm not even a natural redhead, and it's constantly changing. So this was not.
I already used it last year. Ha ha ha.
What was your answer?
I don't remember it was last year.
She remembers all the characters.
Like I said, I can tell you what characters I
That
am.
should be a horrible one because she was.
Oh, I was a troublemaker. So I
Yeah, you
would be-
told me about you as a I mean, I've said this before, Maho in Beck is like shockingly like me. Like, even her backstory in her life, basically if you were to change, because she like grew up in America, but she's Japanese, if you were to change Japanese to Honduran, like that's my life. Like, Beck is essentially my life story, minus the modeling. But the singing, for sure. But yeah, like, there was actually one time that I went to record, and she had a new outfit on, and it matched what I was wearing. I was wearing the same thing. So yeah, definitely mine. But
Oh golly. Flower in your hair. Hello.
Yes.
It's non-gender specific.
Good
Why has it got to be one or the other?
answer. He's a Hideyoshi. He's a Hideyoshi.
Yeah, he's a Hideyoshi.
Oh, it's my turn. Pink. Pink and red. Pink and red. Yay.
Excuse me. And what character would you guys cosplay?
I've actually cosplayed Natsuki in Summer Wars before. I should post that picture again. But yeah,
I had a friend. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You weren't finished. You weren't finished.
I have a friend who's a cosplayer, Jessie Pridemore, and she had the Natsuki cosplay, and so we did a panel where she was not in cosplay, like for the first time at a convention ever, and I was in cosplay. It was delightful.
That's awesome. What I was gonna say was in Summer Wars, my character Naomi looks like she dresses the way that I kind of already dress. She's usually got sunglasses on her head, which is kind of me. But I don't know. I've seen a lot of really amazing Madame Red costumes here this con, and that would be a really fun role. But all of the costumes are so crazy and defy gravity, so I don't know that I could pull that off. So many of them are just, I mean, they're tiny, and I don't know how they are staying up. So I would be a little terrified to wear some of those things, I would say. Sloth was pretty cool, pretty classic. So maybe that, I don't know. What about you, Arthur?
I would say come to the Black Butler reunion. I've never done it before. It will be the first time.
Amazing.
Con's full of firsts.
This is it. It's first time.
Oh, my turn. Gray wig in the back.
What is your most memorable line you've ever said?
It's funny because I don't remember anything.
Can anybody under the age of 16 please put their fingers in their ears? It's not that bad. Hopefully you won't understand. So in Excel Saga, and maybe it's because it was one of the earlier lines that I ever had to say like this, where I went, whoa! They're going to the top of a department store that has this little carnival, right? And my character, Princess Hyatt, is an alien, so she's new to this world. She hasn't seen things like carousels. So she looks at it and she says, I've never ridden anything that goes up and down and in and out before. It's carousel, but you know.
Because anime. I can't remember them. There are so many that are really that are great to say, that you go, yeah! And you feel like a badass because you got to say it. This is going to sound really weird, but some of the things that I love to do the most are all of the little sounds that characters make, that a character might make, like notices or reactions. And I get to sit in the booth and go, and like, things like that, I kind of still marvel at the fact that I get to do that. And so yeah, that's for me.
Pays the bills.
It does. Space Dandy, what's your question?
Thank you, actually, more of a play along. As Ukraine and Belarus.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't even know
Because I'm talking like this.
Because I'm talking. Oh wait, I have to get down there. And she has gigantic boobs.
And I just want my big brother to love me.
And I'm loving
the best.
We did have a moment. It takes a minute to get into that because I kind of want to go Russian if we're not
Brother Russia?
Say again.
Who do you think deserves to be with Brother Russia?
Duh.
No, I'm saying right over Russia.
Oh, I'm not gonna actually fight, believe me.
I'm gonna kick my ass.
rock, paper, scissors.
I don't know, but closed doors.
I don't want none of that. No.
She's pretty kooky.
She is.
How funny.
I
I didn't
can't believe
realize
that.
it.
I know.